Hello, my name is Jose Romero. In this video, we'll be working on outcomes, but we'll be focusing on collective resonance outcomes. In this video, we actually call them revelations, which are a product of our work in gender during the year. We will define them, we will see what are collective resonance outcomes, why we call them revelations, and we'll see some examples, and above all, the connection between that new narrative and new action. So we've created a PowerPoint presentation for this purpose. Allow me to upload it so that we can go through it. So the intention of this work, as we'll remember, is gender equality, leadership, and empowerment in action. It's not just empowerment. It's empowerment in action, empowerment that's put into practice. So what is collective resonance outcome? Why do we call them revelations? They're actually power ideas that allow us to go into the future. They're not just good ideas, they're power ideas that have a very high level of energy generated by the group. They can be unfolded and decodified. We can use different methods to do this. One of the very typical ones is Paulo Freire's method for decodification. This allows us to create new language, bridge the theory-action gap, and create emerging futures. So let's see some examples. I'll show you some. I'll keep silence, just read them and go through them so you can observe them and assimilate them. And we'll take the last one as an example of decodification. They will never, I can't see, sorry. They will never have the comfort of my silence. And if there was no darkness, there would be no light. In the context of invisible violence, there are many ways to raise your voice and be heard. As gender activists, we work together to increase assistance discomfort. And let's take this last one. After the leadership course, one of the participants expressed, after following the U journey, I see women's leadership and its 7 capacities being put into action, challenging the critical knots of society. So how can we unfold this very powerful statement? It has actually 3 layers of analysis. The first one would be to ponder the 7 new capacities that these women have developed, capacities in leadership, in new leadership. Then, as it is expressed, they are connected to critical knots, the capacity to identify knots that are causal, knots that are referred to blind spots, knots that have the capacity to move the system. And thus connect to reality, connect to solution, and connect to the movement of emerging futures. So let's go a little deeper into this. We explored I am a woman in the Jungian sense of anima and animus. Both men and women participated, men in the capacity to develop alternative masculinities. So either as a woman or as a man exploring the woman within one, we came out with these power ideas or resonance ideas. I can learn to expand my intuition fully. This is very useful for men. I welcome my vulnerability and understand it as a force of good that nurtures social empowerment, I recognize the organic pain of what it means to be a woman. Exclusion allows me to see everything from the border. I can see the whole. We need to go beyond patriarchy, violence, invisible violence, to arrive at the voice of what is possible. I am creation. I am water, energy, love, proud to be a nature woman. This is particularly relevant with indigenous women that participated, the Pachacutic movement, which participated in this year of work. But let's take this third statement, power idea. I recognize the organic pain of what it means to be a woman. Usually in our society, pain is understood as something negative. But if we see it, women can, men can't, but if we see it or empathize with birth pain, then birth pain creation becomes incredibly powerful. It connects to self-esteem, it creates to empowerment, and creates to a capacity and power, in this case for political action. So let's move on. What were the proposed next steps? Develop a workshop where we take on these collective resonance revelations, put them through the U, and decodify them. At a parallel level, select ongoing gender projects which are going on right now within the parties and design 2 or 3 prototypes. And very importantly, link the new narrative that is emerging as we're decodifying these collective resonance narratives and connect them to what we're learning on the prototypes. Reiterate this movement of theory and practice, learn and move into the future. So what are we doing? We're actually putting action learning to work. In which way? We're working with complex questions that are derived from the decodification process. We're putting them in action through prototypes. We're reflecting about them. And we are going through the learning effect of what this process means. This is circular, this is reiterative, and as we put it in movement, it will take us into the future. So thank you, and allow me to stop the sharing here and give a second round of thank you, and we will move on.